This is our gig. And sometimes it goes off the rails, and it does.
I felt like I was drowning and I had no life and I couldn't enjoy the small things, not to, get to the book. And I was really, really, really burned out.
We're having the conversations you can have, you're scared of having, or whatever it is. But the bottom line is, yeah, it's going to happen. And it's probably going to happen again.
Person, and I have feelings, and I'm just trying to do a good job. And I don't think this is a totally fair shake using our friendship in the way that it has been.
The View's 25-year history, one of the few co-hosts who may leave on her own terms without risk of firing, is Meghan McCain. Her choice to leave was not made hastily. It was the result of 4 years of personal struggles.
I could deal with host drama all day long. To me, the thing that started having a real impact on my mental and emotional health was the constant, and it became constant, like absolute constant, like leaking from the show. The second week I was there was a bunch of articles on gossip sites talking about how nobody liked me on the show and I was a disappointment and I was an ice queen and you're a hated woman that everybody thinks is a lunatic. It would take a toll on you, I promise.
Meghan McCain's father, Senator John McCain, urged daughter to join The View in 2017 because he saw it as a chance to be a powerful conservative voice in a mainstream setting, in addition to her desire to further her career. In 2018, just a year after she started working at ABC, Meghan was experiencing issues behind the scenes, despite the fact that the network's audience had climbed dramatically. Her father lost his battle with glioblastoma, a particularly serious form of brain cancer. His death was a national tragedy in addition to a personal one. Although Meghan was entering a place that had already ingested and kicked out several conservative co-hosts, she was game and didn't back down from a heated fight. Meghan had to mourn in the public eye, and to make matters worse, she was doing it in a hostile work environment. Every day, The View turned into a battlefield, contributing to the already tumultuous political climate under the Trump administration. The former president had made fun of John McCain's military background, saying, "I like people who weren't captured." That insult alone made Meghan's role on the show extremely delicate. She frequently felt compelled to stand up for her father's heritage, while also being the only conservative at the table. She was exhausted from her agony, and it was made worse by the knowledge that the struggle was happening behind the scenes rather than only on screen. If you thought the conversations on screen were intense, just think of how much worse Meghan had to handle off camera.
So I am just going to rip the Band-Aid off. I am here to tell all of you, my wonderful co-hosts, and the viewers at home that this is going to be my last season here at The View.
As soon as Meghan entered the program, she became a target, and the tabloids covered every discussion she had. These leaks were intended to damage her reputation. They called her aloof, demanding, and entitled, and some even implied that she had abused staff members and other co-hosts. Later, Meghan said that she knew that people were attempting to hurt her, stating that she couldn't even breathe without someone fabricating a narrative to go to the media about what had happened. It seemed to be a deliberate attempt to persuade her to come. She made an effort to react in the proper ways, much like the play's antagonist. She felt totally alone after complaining to HR about the uncomfortable work atmosphere, but the ABC executives ignored her. Since she was the sole vocal conservative on the panel, it was clear after the camera stopped recording that she was not a member of the inner circle. She had to handle the attacks alone every day, while the other co-hosts supported one another. Maintaining her reputation and making her voice heard proved to be difficult. When Meghan McCain eventually decided to go, she didn't just go quietly, since she's not one to back down from a battle.
Joy Behar said on air, nobody missed you. We didn't miss you. You shouldn't have come back. And I started hysterically crying and sorry, gentlemen, I know, like male, I started lactating on air and like crying and hysterical. It was
If you've ever wondered how Meghan McCain and Whoopi Goldberg went from being friendly co-workers to hardly getting along, it all began during a contentious live broadcast in December 2019. Meghan started to add something extremely audience-appropriate, but Whoopi cut her off with, "Girl, please stop talking." This moment was so unexpected that Meghan kept silent for her, in addition to being humiliating because it was shown live on TV. Additionally, it demonstrated that she was not given the respect she deserved at the table.
To my office and I vomited and I called my brother who lives in who lives in Cornville, Arizona on a farm. And he said, F these people is not worth it, is no longer worth it. And that was it. When Joyce said on air when I came back from maternity leave, nobody missed you. I didn't feel supported when I had my baby, and I didn't feel supported coming back. And that was ultimately it. So that was why I left.
And Joy Behar's hurtful remark followed. Meghan and her daughter Liberty had recently returned from maternity leave. Returning to The View was already difficult for her. She was anxious about returning to such a poisonous atmosphere and had severe postpartum anxiety. However, what transpired utterly ruined her.
Let me finish.
Here's what's happening now. We're gonna keep, girl, please stop talking. Please stop talking right now. Because you know what? What's happening? Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you.
I won't talk the rest of the show. No problem.
Okay, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. If you're going to behave like this.
I'm not behaving like anything. I'm trying to show a conservative perspective.
Yes, we understand that. But what you're doing.
No, I'm not.
We're not doing.
Instead than just presenting her stance, Meghan said something during an argument that Joy strongly disagreed with. She went on, rolling her eyes, "I didn't miss you, Zero." Meghan later said that the event had completely destroyed her and that she began to have panic attacks before work. She would weep in the mornings, terrified to go into a location where she was publicly hated again. She was so anxious that she knew she couldn't continue doing this for a long time. However, the constant arguments on air, the cold treatment backstage, and the network's lack of consideration for her issues made her decide in July 2021 that she was done. When she announced that she was quitting The View, but on her own terms this time, everyone was shocked. Over the years, other hosts had expressed similar views, so Meghan wasn't the only one who thought the point of view was detrimental. "You either survive the drama or it kills you," remarked Rosie O'Donnell, who famously likened it to Survivor. Another former conservative voice on the show, Nicole Wallace, said her position there was the worst she had ever had. There has long been trouble with the show. She described a brutal work environment where presenters were always vying with one another to create drama for the audience. Additionally, there is the controversy surrounding ABC executive Barbara Fetted, who oversaw the show. In 2020, she was fired from the network when it was revealed that she had made disparaging remarks about Black journalists. Even though Meghan McCain was one of the most vocal critics, she wasn't the first, and if things continue this way, she won't be the last.
Everybody, just take a breath, because now it's becoming hard
I'm sorry, but people.
Hold on, let me just finish what I'm saying so that I can just say everybody has something to say at the table. We really do want to hear from everybody, but we're starting to do that thing,
Right.
And so
I don't know what that means. This thing.
It means you're talking over each other.
Well, it's a.
Meghan has done well after leaving the program in 2012. She goes into great detail about View's inner workings and how it almost wrecked her in her book Bad Republican. She also talks about how her complaints went unheard, how toxic the show is, and why she doesn't regret leaving. She has also concentrated on new endeavors, such as her podcast. Meghan McCain joined the conversation to discuss politics, pop culture, and motherhood without the drama of The View. Even while Meghan is glad to be out of that setting, she has expressed her hope that the show would change and that conservative viewpoints shouldn't be portrayed as villains on The View. She has also criticized the network for creating a climate that promotes bullying rather than critical discourse. But will this change, or is this the status quo? Please leave your comments in the space below and subscribe to our channel for future videos.